What's up guys, Justin here with the RenderingEssentials.com, back with another D5 Render new feature tutorial for you. So in today's video we're going to talk through just a little bit the new features contained inside of version 1.8 of D5 Render. So let's go ahead and just jump into it. Alright, so in this video I just want to talk through some of the new features that are contained inside of this version. And I do want to say I'm really impressed with the rate at which D5 is currently rolling out these new features. So they're really adding a lot of cool stuff that really allows you to be kind of flexible with the kind of renderings that you want to create. So when you first open up the new version, you're going to get this little splash screen right here that's going to show you some of the big changes that are in here. So talking about the dynamic particles, the lens flare, some of the other features. If you click on the Find Out More button, that's going to take you to a page that talks you through all of the updates. So there's also a forum post on the D5 Render forum where you can talk about the different features, and a video on their YouTube channel where they show you some of the new features as well. So I will link to all of those in the notes down below so that you can see them. But let's talk through these just a little bit, get kind of an idea of what's possible. All right, so first off, they've included a new particle library so that you can bring particles into your renderings. So if we go into our assets right here, and then click the little drop down for particles, you can see how there's going to be a library of particles that you can bring in. And you can take these and bring them into your model. So let's say, for example, that we wanted to bring in, let's just say the fire, and maybe like a medium fire or something like that. This is something we might bring into like a fireplace or something like that. But you can just click on it and you're going to download that. Notice that's going to run a little bit slow just because of the speed of my computer. But you're going to be able to click on that, download that into your library. So then you can click on it, move your mouse, and then you can click to place that inside your model. And so now let's close out of this window for a second, just kind of move this around and take a look at it. You can see how this particle system gives you a really realistic fire that's actually throwing out realistic lighting and everything else. So this particle library really gives you the ability to add different things like that. So in addition, if we go into their snow mountain model and look at our particles here, you can bring in, there's like smoke and fog assets that you can bring in as well as like snow assets. So let's bring in maybe let's go with the snow small for right now. So we're going to download that and bring it in. And then you just click on it, mouse in here, and then you click, right? So I'm going to move this up a little bit, and then let's kind of zoom in on this a little bit. Well, notice what you're getting with this piece of snow is you're getting snow falling down in the air. And maybe we want to bring in the snow large. So let's do that. Let's bring that down real quick. So I'm just going to click on that, click in here, and bring it up. And notice how I'm getting snow falling around my cursor right here. So you can definitely see it like falling down over here. So you can see how that's a really great way to add some realism to your renderings. So they've also added a new tool where you can rotate or adjust your camera rotation. So let's say, for example, that you wanted a scene where you were out here and then you wanted to make a video where you were kind of flying in and your camera rotated. So all you would do is just add another scene. And then within this other scene, you would just move your camera like this. And within your camera settings or your view settings, there's a camera rotation function. So you could set this for your scene and then save it just by clicking the refresh right here. Then all you would have to do is just go into your video settings, and we'll just clear this one out, and we'll just start with our scene 5 right here. You can shoot that. Then you can click on your other scene, your scene 3, and you can zoom in like this. So you can see how you can use this in order to create videos like this with actual camera rotation now. So that gives you more flexibility with the kind of videos and camera angles that you can create. So in addition, now your videos support keyframing of groups. So let's say that we had these 3 people in here, right? These 3 people models. We wanted to move them all at once, right? So you don't have to go through and keyframe them individually. What you can do is you can put them all in a group like this. And this is inside of your list all in your scene. And so what you can do is you can go into your video settings. You can click the button to add a keyframe. And then let's just drag this forward a little bit, and we've still got our camera rotation going on in here. That's okay. We'll go ahead and we'll just kind of move these models over here. Well, notice how I have this whole group selected. I can just add a new keyframe, or I've actually already added the keyframe. So what that means is that now that group, all of those models have been moved as a part of that keyframe. So you can see how they move across. You can keyframe groups instead of just keyframing individual models in your animations inside of D5 Render. So they've also added an option in here. If you go into your View All, you go down, or in your video editor, if you click on Clips, if you look on the right-hand side, there's an option to adjust your camera speed control. So you can set your camera speed control so that it's just a fixed speed, a linear speed, or you can set it where you ease in and ease out, meaning that it's going to start off a little bit slower and then it's going to speed up before it's going to slow down again at the end. So notice how the camera speed slowly got up to that full speed and then it slowed down before the end. So you can set this to have an ease in, ease out, ease in and out, or a linear. So notice how when we get up to about the 5-second mark, it's going to slow your camera down. It's going to ease out of that movement. So in addition, if you go into your lighting settings and you look into your HDRI, there's now an option in here to lock your sun, so your artificial sun inside of your model, to your HDRI. So notice how if you check this, now the shadows and the lighting is going to be tied to your HDRI image like this. So notice how now when I adjust my HDRI, the shadows are being driven by the location of the bright point on that HDRI file. So there's a number of other like engine settings in here. So they have added a denoiser enhancement in the video rendering, so you can use that to denoise your renderings. They've also done some optimization of the GI accuracy inside the engine, as well as some other engine things too that are going to result in better images. So you can check out all of those in the forum post here or on the What's New page that we talked about before. So that's where I'm going to end this video. Leave a comment below. Let me know what you thought. Are you liking the direction D5 is going? Which one of these new features is your favorite? I just love having that conversation with you guys. If you like this video, please remember to click that like button down below. If you're new around here, remember to click that subscribe button for new rendering content every week. As always, thank you so much for taking the time to watch this. I really appreciate it, and I will catch you in the next video. Thanks, guys.